Hello, everyone. This is Dion Soul. I hope everyone is doing well. And as you see before you, another truck simulator video, except for this time we have a little bit of a twist. And what that twist is, and the reason why you cannot see me on the bottom right-hand corner like you normally would see my ugly mug, is because of this product right here. This is called LookPilot. This is basically a $14, at least that's what I paid for it. Um, Product that allows you to be able to look inside your cab, or in Microsoft Flight Simulator in X-Plane to be able to look around and give you basically a better field of view without you having to actually have VR. Even though I have the Quest 3 VR, after a while I get eye strain and whatnot for me personally. So I kind of I have to put it away. As I shouldn't say kinda, I just have to put it away. And so what I have done is I stumbled across this product and I thought I would try it out, and I am very surprised. And so far, as I highly recommend this for you guys to check out this Look Pilot. I believe they have a demo. Yeah, they have a free demo for about 4 hours or so that you can try. And I tried it, and then now it's down to $8, and it was at least as of this recording, as you can see the date and the time, 6/28 or 6/26, 6/28, 6/28, 2024. I don't even know what day it is. But anyway, it's been very good buy for me anyway, and it's nothing, no problem for you just to try it out. And the beauty of this program is that not only does it support Windows, it also supports Linux as well. So if you have a Linux install, in my case, Cashy OS is my go-to Linux. And I have found that I haven't on my laptop is where my Linux is, and right now, but I have Windows on my regular computer at this moment, and I do see that it does support Microsoft Flight Simulator, and also I haven't tried it out yet, but I believe it also supports X-Plane 12, X-Plane 11, that sort of thing. I was trying to get it to work with NASCAR 2003, and unfortunately, it doesn't work. You have to do a lot of finagling. So out of the box experience, um, yeah, I don't. It could be probably work out, but I just haven't figured it out yet. But like I said, as far as this is really good, and I highly recommend that product, and that sort of thing. Also, I do have another product that I tried before, and this product right here is Beam Tracker. And Beam Tracker, they both do the same job, they both do the same thing, but Beam Tracker, in my honest and humble opinion, I'm not going to say it's garbage, but I just don't recommend it. It was $30 or $20 or whatever it was when I paid for it. And we'll just go over here to the store page and see how much it actually costs, if it'll show me. Well, it's down to $23, so $29. I did pay the full $29 price, and as you can see, I got 29 hours invested in trying to get this Beam tracker to work on my system, and it's just not very good. It's just not very good, and I don't like it at all when it's all said and done. And as you can see, it came out in August of 2023, and it did update. Um, it has been updating right along, but it's just to be brutally honest, it's just a pain in the ass, and I just don't recommend the Beam tracker at all. Um, Whereas, like I said, the you know this this look pilot, I highly recommend. And I've already got the same amount of hours in uh, or actually more hours in look pilot than I do in Beam Tracker. And it's just for American Truck Simulator, especially because that's all I really tested it on as of this post. Um, that it just works really well. I just can't speak highly enough of it right now. and hopefully the developer will just keep on just continue to innovate and just get even more. And how it works is it actually, let me go ahead and get into into American Truck Simulator, and you'll just actually see it in action instead of just watching somebody's video. Um, so we'll go ahead and get inside the game here, and we are running version 1.60 of American Truck Simulator. And there is actually, as of this date and time, there is actually version 1.61 .700. And basically all it does is just does some UI tweaks to the basic UI of American Truck Simulator. And also what it does is it gives you a bigger bubble for you to discover things as you're going down the freeway or the roadways. Sometimes you get into situations where you just can't, you have to actually turn um, into a what do you call it, the agency, to be able to hire drivers and whatnot. In order for you to trip that up, you actually got to drive up to basically the front door. Whereas they're with this version 1.61, they're actually, we'll check to see if there's any new trucks yet. And no, there's not any new trucks for me to buy, because I've trashed my character and started a fresh character. I do that all the time because I don't really care. I'm here to have fun. I'm a casual player when it comes to this. I just want to have fun. Um, and so what it does is it makes it so the detection bubble is basically wider, and that's the attraction I found with version 1.61. It's just unfortunate that all of the DLC or the app mods that I have, um, some of these mods, some of these truck mods that you see here in my mod manager, unfortunately, a lot of these truck mods don't work with version 1.61. It is an easy fix once you know how to do it, and that is you just go into their manifest folder and just add a line in that config file for each one of these trucks, and then they become available to you for you to be able to add it to your mod manager. And as you can see, I've got over 50 plus mods that I've found that I've settled in on that I really like so far. And again, I also have my own mods that I've created. Basically, these are trailer mods that makes it so it puts in my own company logo on the side of the trailer. And so I've been working with AI. Now I know people throw lots and lots of shade on artificial intelligence and AI, but for me personally, I have no problem with artificial intelligence and AI as long as you use it as a tool, which I've been doing, creating mods for American Truck Simulator, um, or actual Python scripts to basically add the experience for my Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane, adventures. Then it's to me, AI is a help. But just like anything else, AI has a downside. There's always positives and negatives. But anyway, these are all the mods that I've been using, and they've been working out pretty well in version 1.60 and in actually 1.61 as well. I didn't see any problems other than the fact that the trucks, I would have to go into their config files and make it so they would be able to populate and for me to be able to install them in here. So without further ado, and also as a side note, I should say is that it is very important for those of you that don't know about American Truck Simulator or thinking about American Truck Simulator, that when you start dipping your toes into mods, that you want to make sure that you understand load orders and whatnot and how to load things up. You putting all of your map programs on the very bottom of the load order. This is the first thing that would load up into memory, but then anything after it will be wrote on top of, and it's kind of like a foundational mindset where you have the foundation, you've got the dirt, the concrete, the flooring, the walls, the drywall, the ceiling, the roof, those kinds of stepping stones. and that's how you have to play these out. And there's plenty of people out there. You just search load order on Google or whatever, and there's so many people out there. Or just ask UI, just ask Grok, say, hey, for American Truck Simulator, what is the proper load order that you need to put into American Truck Simulator, and it'll just tell you. And so those are one of the advantages of AI if you're, you just use it as a tool. But anyway, so I've got all my loads up. I've got some of the things that are changing on a daily, and then economy mods and whatnot, and then sound is all together in one spot. Graphical is all in one spot. Um, uh, uh, Traffic tweaks are in one group. Truck Used trucks dealerships are in one group, and then more truck accessories and whatnot, and paint jobs and whatnot are all in a group. Engines are in one group. Engine mods and transmission mods, and then the actual trucks themselves are all in a group. And then trailers are all in a group towards the bottom, i.e., what's first to load, and anything associated with trucks or with trailers and trailer accessories and whatnot are at the bottom. And then, of course, the very bottom, as I said at the start, are at the very bottom where the map mods are. The most problematic in your playthroughs in American Truck Simulator is going to be um, the map mods. And the reason why is because when you're going through different versions of the game, they constantly break. That's just the inherent nature of the way it is. Now, for me, I didn't have a problem between version 1.60 and 1.61, but there are some mods out there that if they say that they're good for version 1.57, 1.58, 1.59, that sort of thing, that's when you start getting into areas where they might work or they might not work, and you just have to trial and error and figure it out. But you can make that argument with everything, actually, in American Truck Simulator. But I've been having a blast playing the game. It's just a good game, and I do call this a game and not really a simulator because the time is at 120th scale. So you and you just saw the little blurb there of version 1.61 experimental that I was testing out. Um, it's okay, but I just went back to make it so all my truck mods would work, and I didn't have to go through and change all the manifest files for each individual truck. That's why I'm back on version 1.60. But like I say, overall, the game is worth it. I mean, I poo-pooed this game off um, for a long time before I decided, you know what, last year I'll just go ahead and just buy it. It's only $4.99, and then once I started playing the game, I said, hey, this is cool, and then I bought a DLC, and and then after I bought one DLC, I bought another one, and then now I bought every DLC there is in the game practically, except for a couple that I just weren't interested in, and so. Uh, that's how I end up just getting hooked into it. um as far as the economy mods and whatnot, I basically went the road of just juicing up the default just up a little bit better, and I didn't really have to, but I decided to actually just juice it up a little better because I like that progression, a faster progression, and so that XP and money mod is just basically it just notches things up just a little bit to be able to have a more fluid pay through. Most mods, if you see in the workshop, are all designed to make it so uh, you are hardcore is what I was trying to say. And I'm not interested in hardcore because hardcore mods do not translate very well into this game from my personal experience because everything is at 120th scale, and it just for me it just feels like a disconnect. And so I don't even bother to run the hardcore economy mods. I usually go out of the box standard or just a little bit, juicing it up just a little bit just so you can progress faster. And there's plenty of mods out there too that you just go do one job and boom, you've got everything in the game at your fingertips and unlimited money, and then you just go around and buy everything, and that's no good either because there's no sense of challenge. So I took the sweet spot of just, tweaking it up just a little bit to make the flow go a little bit faster. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a job so you can actually see what's going on here. Now because we are doing quick jobs and we don't have our own truck yet. I thought I would just find a job and then we can either take a frac tank, we can do a NASCAR, we can go ahead and take a NASCAR from Stockton down here to Laredo. We can go ahead and do that now, and that's going to be interesting to see because of the more cities mods that I have. I know when I get towards the Houston area in the past, it would crash to desktop. So we're going to see if this video, if we're going to get a crash to desktop. If we do, then it's we're done. End of story. That's the end of the video. But if we don't, then we'll get a little bit more cities in there. Now, what is interesting is normally more cities would pop up, and I'm noticing here that I am not seeing, because I'd actually would have a bigger map right now. So it looks like the more cities mod is not populating. That's very interesting here. So I guess we'll try to troubleshoot here while we are live right now, and let's figure out why we are not. See, the more cities is actually active. So let's go ahead and this is the load order the way it's supposed to be. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to pump it up. We're actually going to make it load first, and then we'll put coast to coast on top of it. And basically, all coast to coast does is just fills in, as you can see, it just fills in the areas where Florida and whatnot in those areas. And I'm not in that area anyway right now, so realistically, I could just forget that one for right now. So let's go ahead and we just change the load order here, and let's see if we can get them to populate, because there's considerably more Texas roads for us to drive our destinations to go to with that more cities mod. And I usually drive around the Southwest anyway. I don't mess around going into the Northwest or the Northeast or anything like that. So we go coffee for the working man, and which is that's my normal area is the Southwest, because that's where I'm most familiar with in the real life. So now let's go ahead and see if we get better populated jobs here. And it still did not. I should see more cities right now. So let's go ahead and then turn off. See, here's all the roadways and stuff when I made the or when I'm doing the coast to coast. You can see that they're all populated right here. So we'll go ahead and get out, and we'll go back to the title screen, and then we will get rid of it altogether. Unless it's broken, and it could be broken. And that's fine. If it's broken, then the mod manager is doing its job saying, hey, you reload this, is going to break. So we'll go ahead and actually turn this off. We'll get rid of that one. So now that's not available. So now we just have more cities, and that's it. And if it still doesn't work, then we're just going to go on and not worry about it. Or I'll just get rid of it altogether. See, now it's got the error message saying, well, hey, wait a minute, what happened? We lost some stuff. And it's, yep, coast to coast is now gone. So that's correct. Now we'll go ahead and reload it up, and let's see if our more cities will populate. I did play around with the VNE or VNR, which is their electric truck, Volvo electric truck, and I thought it was kind of cool. Thought it was fine, not a problem. I know Volvo, the first thing you're going to think of is Volvo. It's like, well, isn't that a Swedish company or whatever? And it's like, yeah, but but I don't worry about it because the actual trucks that are made here in America are actually truly made by American hands in America. And see, now that I've reset it, so now it's going to have to repopulate the jobs or the trucks, and that's okay. So now let's see if we have any more. Nope, we still do not have it. Nope, we still don't have them. So I don't know. Maybe the more cities mod is not, it's just not working right now. So, and that's fine. We're not going to waste any more time with it. So let's go ahead and go from, let's figure out what money we can make. Now that's the full price, or we can go distance. I'm not a really big fan of these big old long hauls, or big old, these, they are more money, but they're more money and they're also more pain in the ass. And so finding the sweet spot for taking all these large reservoir tanks and giant silos and massive truck parts and all this other stuff, I like, the flatbeds are where they make the money in the game anyway at the start. So we'll go ahead. We'll still go back to the NASCAR, I guess. Or we can take this one right here. We can go to Pueblo, Colorado. So let's do that one. So here we are, and now you see how it's moving around. And as you can see, what I am using is I'm using my Logitech Biro, Bolero, or whatever. It's 500. It's BRIO. Bio, I don't know. Anyway, I can't pronounce it right. I can spell it, but I can't pronounce it. But anyway, so this is what it does: is it moves around like this. It feels floaty, and so what you're seeing on the screen is it probably feels floaty to you. And if it's distracting, I understand. But for a user of it, after a while, you get used to it. You get used to the floatiness of it, and it actually does become very useful. Now, let me go ahead and turn on my lights and everything and get everything set and ready to go. And I think we can GTFO. So we can go over here and hit number 2 key. And we ended up taking a little bit of a long one anyway. See, I'm not a really big fan of these big old long ones, but they work, but they're kind of a pain. So, and we're running obviously an international. We're at Hitachi. Is that where we're at? Yeah, we're at Hitachi. But yeah, so it allows you to look around, and you can't see my face, but I am actually turning my head. And then after a while, you get into a rhythm or a flow that really makes it really, really nice. Now, because we have such a long trailer right now, you're not going to negotiate going through that gate very well. Believe me, I have caught the trailer on that gate numerous times. So what I do
let's find a new route.
Is I will go over here and have to go all the way around the site, my departure site, all the way around to actually get a straight in shot to be able to get out.
Rerouting.
But like I said, it works out really, really well. Now, again, I have not actually done a flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator or reinstalled X-Plane on this Windows system to actually check to verify myself it actually works. It's just in the paperwork it says it does work, but I just haven't done a flight in it. So you'll see some flights in it that you'll probably see. But and also too, please let me know in the comments down below if you if it's very, very distracting, like, hey, I just can't watch this, and then it'll kind of limit me on doing videos with this. See, I'll just chill out and wait here. See, before I would have to actually use the my keys on my keypad in order for me to change my views. This way it's more fluid and I can just move around with it a lot easier. So if I want to look at one of my other monitors, of course, it's going to turn
Keep
the.
left, and then turn left. Turn left.
Really like to have that spot, so I can make a more wider turn. There's a car right there, of course. I don't see anybody coming. Yeah, there's a car coming right there. Or a vehicle. Is there a vehicle coming? I don't see one, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my nose out here. They're just gonna have to wait. But like I said, it really makes things a lot easier with this LookPilot. And like I said, with Beam just and I bought my updated webcam because of Beam, because Beam wanted a high resolution webcam, and so the webcam is set up at 720p, but it is set up at 60 frames per second, and so that's why you're seeing the smoothness of it, even though it feels kind of floaty. But it's about the best word I can describe. And it looks like this is definitely going to be a night run for sure.
Keep left.
But yeah, I just use my honeycomb yoke and my honeycomb throttle quadrant, and of course my my crosswind, I guess is what it's called, crosswind rudder pedals for my brake and my accelerator. Only thing I would like to have is I'd like to have a good quality shifter and a clutch pedal, and that would be awesome. But unfortunately, I do not have either one of those. So I strictly just run automatics on everything, and I just set up the game. I set up the game where I'm just constantly running automatics all the time, except for when it's sequential shifting. I have a button on the honeycomb yoke that I assigned, so then I can just click it with my thumb to switch from true automatic to sequential shifting, and that's a help when you're going up a hill and whatnot, or if you're coming off of a dead stop. I just wish that American Truck Simulator or SCS software would just make it so you can actually pop out the mirrors, and that would be epic. Come on, there you go. You can do it. Come on, back up. There we go. There we go. Now it's starting to go. The heavy load. I do have, like you saw in my load order, I've got 3 different mods trying to address 3 different issues with traffics. And most of it is just stopping behavior, and a bunch of other things that address the overall behavior of the AI traffic, because the out of the box, they really need to have some kind of way to be able to make the AI traffic behave better, because they'll just stop right in front of you for no reason at all. They'll a light turns green and then you're just stuck there until you know, our weight go through different 2 or 3 cycles of the light.
Go
So
straight
that's
on.
why you learn when playing the game that you want to lay back um when you're coming up to behind somebody, you want to make sure that you have enough room so when the light does turn green, you have the ability to get out from it and
Keep right.
go around them when that behavior happens. And as you can see, we got the Bucky's logos and Bucky signs and everything else because I tricked out the installation where I've got all kinds of mods to make it. I figured that because they're using real life truck brands and then have the fictitious business names all over the place, it's just really jarring and you know, just really jarring and just feels out of place. Uh, so I mean, if you had fictitious truck brands and you had fictitious businesses and everything is fictitious except for the roadways and the highways, okay, fine, I guess, but still, you know, you still got real roads and real street signs and real towns and whatnot. So that's why basically having, you know, modders go in and actually put in real billboards and real businesses and whatnot into the game is such a staple for the game itself to have in your load order, um, because it just helps with the immersion factor. But having to be able to look around like this, and
Go
you
straight on.
you train your head to where you move your head slower instead of just whipping around. I mean, it handles it if you have the computer to do it. Now full
Keep
disclosure, I
right.
am running
And then turn left.
a AMD 7950 X3D, 16 cores,
Turn
32
left.
threads, uh, you know, 5 gigahertz, 64 gigabytes of DDR5 running at Expo 1, which is 6,000 megahertz or megatrends or whatever they call it. Um, and so bottom line, I'm telling you is that I got a very powerful computer with all things considered back in 2023 when I built this computer. And then of course my video card's a GTX 4080 Super video card, so I don't have the latest. And you can see that if I go slow, you can see that it starts to catch the frames. But you know, I do have everything at full detail as well. I have everything maxed out except for I turned off the God rays and then that's about it. Everything else is just whatever the game can give me. I have um, using Gemini uh, has been my go-to AI as of late, and I basically had Gemini repopulate my config file because the advantage of AI is it can look at the internet and just see, okay, what has other people done and what via posting, and then come up with a updated config file for the game that allows you to, you know, basically tweak the game to get better performance out of the game along with in your actually in your Steam command line start. When I am in VR, I use the underscore X or experimental underscore open XR is what I use. I don't use Steam VR. I just use OpenXR direct, whether that be in Linux or in here in Windows. That's how I roll with VR, and that seems to work pretty well. And and so I just utilize AI to be able to say, well, hey, I want to be able to maximize my config files. So what would be the best configuration files, and then or big configuration settings that would, and it would search the internet and then just say, okay, well, we changed this, and this, and it got to a point. First off, the way you got to understand how AI works. You got to learn that AI, you have to actually be specific in how to talk to it and how to use it. And I use voice dictation all the time, and I use speech or text to speech back to me, so I can hear, um, listen to
Go
what
straight on.
what Gemini said to me back. And so through trial and error, you learn how to use AI, and you just use it to your advantage. And I have it make config files, and to be able to enhance the game. It actually gave me an option to actually, you can put in half the memory that you have to be able to load assets into the system memory, which helps speed things up, which realistically is not that much faster because I do have my uh, Samsung 980 Pros SSDs, and so they're
Go
already
straight
pretty
on.
fast already anyway. And so I get a little bit more performance loading, about half the game into memory with 64 gigabytes at least. Um, and so that helps out a little bit too. But when you move your mouth, you can see how my head is fluctuating a lot. It will see me open and close my mouth. And when it does that, you see the micro, going up and down because it's getting all of my facial, um, all of my facial, expressions in my face, opening and closing my mouth, putting my hand. You can see how it goes crazy when I put my hand in front of my face. So, you just things you got to learn, but overall it's a net positive. It's a more of an upside with this Look Pilot than than not having it, in my opinion.
Go straight on.
So we'll just continue on here. And also with the police tweaks, you can kind of be a bit of an a-hole and get right over here and not have to worry about the police too much.
Go straight on.
One thing I do like about the police tweaks mod is that it allows the police, they only give you citations if you actually are in their same presence. Basically, their detection bubble is significantly reduced, which helps out hugely in this game because you can be in the middle of the California desert on Interstate 40 heading towards Barstow, and you're in the middle of nowhere where there's no cars around you, and you're doing 75 or 65 in a
Go straight on.
55 because California is well, I'll just be blunt. California is such assholes that the 55 miles an hour for trucks is insane, and you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're stuck at 55. It just feels like you're just crawling down the roadway. And so that's why I don't start my in-game businesses. I don't start it in California, even though I live here in California in real life. But I wouldn't own a business in California even in real life anymore. It just That's why we call it California for some reason, for the reasons, because they're really you got the largest population of Republicans in the in the United States is in California, but it's all controlled by liberal Democratic policies, and I'm starting to go down a liberal tangent here, and I shouldn't do that. So I'll just say that it's not good. It's not good. No balance to the force, metaphorically speaking. In other words, you have no power here. Insert the meme. Insert the Lord of the Rings meme here.
Go straight on.
So anyway, yeah, California sucks. So especially when it comes to it's funny how
Go straight on.
real life politics bleeds into games strictly from a local laws and regulations wise. But that's what the police tweaks does, is it makes it so if you're in the middle of that California desert and you can not have to worry about getting a ticket if you pump it up to 65, 70 when there's no cop around. But when a cop happens to be there, like in real life, they'll slap you. No doubt about it. And like I said, it's just getting used to, you know, the LookPilot, just getting used to it. After a while, you just get used to it, and you'll be able to look around and move around and do all kinds of things with it. That just really overall is a net positive for your experience when you're playing the game. And so I'll probably do another video in the near future where we'll be in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I'll load up an airplane, and then we'll go fly it with it on. And I expect it to be the same. And you can move in and out, zoom in and zoom out, and you can adjust all these settings and whatnot. Towards the end of the video here, after we do this, I'll bring up the settings menu of LookPilot, so you can see what my settings are in order for me to be able to get it, so I can be able to look up in there. You can see how it just does a hard stop. You can actually adjust that to where you can actually get closer, and you go back as far as you can, where I just move my head as far as I can. It just moves in and out. And I don't have side to side. I turn side to side off because side to side starts to get a little bit wonky. And so I just turn that off because I don't really need it anyway. The only time, excuse me there as I'm burping. The only time that, doing side to side from left to right with your body is when you're trying to lean in. And I'm finding, unlike in the Quest 3, when I'm leaning in like this, the actual camera or the actual mirror will move along with your lean in Quest 3. But with this program, and when you're in 2D mode like we are, it doesn't, the camera does not lean, so you can get actually kind of like a look around effect, and you don't get that. So you don't get a look around effect with LookPilot, or if you do, I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. That's probably what it is. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. As we're just rolling. Coming into another town. I wasn't, because I'm sitting here talking with you, I haven't been paying attention to exactly where we are in relation to everything. Ratton. Having the real fuel prices is pretty cool. Knowing what the actual fuel prices are. I think they're updated once a week.
Go straight on.
The modder will update the prices. I probably has some kind of a Python script,
right, and then turn.
And then the Python script just writes, it just scrubs a website, because I have a fuel price scrubber that I did in my other video, that I had combination of Grok and Gemini work with me in creating a fuel scrubber from airnav.com, where I get the latest fuel prices at airports. And I'm guessing that the guy with this mod for fuel prices probably got a website that he goes to that scrubs the fuel prices and gets an average for each state on a weekly basis, and then just creates a config file, then just weekly uploads the config file into his mod and updates his mod once a week on the in the what do you call it, the workshop, which is really cool. At least that's how I would do it anyway, because I do it with my aviation prices myself. But being able to follow a target, which is kind of cool too, until you get off track and you start weaving all over the road. We're going to Pueblo, Colorado anyway. Okay, I guess you can get over now. I do have light mods. Oh, here we got another mod here. Let's see if it's gonna let us pass. Yeah, I have another mod that's that one mod that you saw.
Keep left.
Make avoidance great again. I like that mod because it makes it so you don't have to go through truck stops or truck wait stations, because the wait stations in this game are worthless. All they do is they just make you stop, lose time, and they always pass you through anyway. I've never, with or without the mod, I have never had a wait
Keep
station
left.
actually make me pull over for an inspection. It's just a time sink is all it is. So having this avoidance wait station mod is helpful, because you just don't waste your time. You just drive right on past. And I was saying something else before I went on to that tangent. Now I forgot what it was. So, oh well. I have a climate mod that I actually had to go to truck mods.to or io, I think it is. I think it's io, truckymods.io, I think is where I got it from. And it's a climate mod that uses NOAA data from different regions of the United States, and then it takes that data and then plants them in each area where the amount of rain that you get and all other stuff, which is really cool. It's going to be really helpful when SCS shows some love and actually start having snow accumulate on the ground and have snow effects and all that sort of thing. I'm sure they'll get that eventually. I know there is one modder out there that actually made a snow weather system, but I think it's behind a paywall, if I remember correctly. I'm not for sure on that, but I think it was behind a paywall. And it's like, nah, it's all right. I'm sorry to say, this isn't Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane, where you buy an airplane and that kind of ecosystem. They have it, but I don't. If it's free, it's good, but if it's gonna pay for it, nah, it's all right. Unless it's official DLCs. If they actually have a DLC from SCS, the developer of the game itself, that says, hey, we're going to actually have a whole team of a development time in actually making a complete weather system, and I'd pay for it. I wouldn't care. Okay, so we're getting close now. We're actually in town. I turned off my my cruise control. I want to say autopilot, cruise control, where I just let the truck coast instead of it injecting all of the braking system in order for you to slow it down to have the absolute speed. So I just let it coast on its own.
Keep left.
Keep left. See, I could bring up this, which is helpful as well, but I was trying to get the immersion out of it. I'm surprised it didn't have me get off the freeway right there
and
instead.
Then exit right.
It makes me like to do a bunch of left turns instead of right turns.
Exit right. Turn left. Keep right.
But just making it so you can see like this and like this really adds to the
Turn left.
experience. Well, I'm supposed to turn right here? Okay, I guess I'll turn right here. Come on, dude. You gonna wait for me? You're gonna go. I was gonna let you go so I can have a wider, unfiltered turning thing. And of course, another car pops in.
Get ready to turn right.
Okay, where are we turning right at? Right there.
Turn right. Finally, we are here.
And it looks like I made it. Stayed within the line, pretty much. Hear all that shifting? Because I'm running automatic, it just breaks the immersion. That's why when I actually have my own truck, I just have my automatics on everything. Now, if and when I do ever get a shifter, which I'm thinking about, it isn't crossing my mind. You made it. And that is it. We have made it. Made a little bit of bank. Get a level. Actually, a couple of levels out of the deal. Okay. What Gemini told me, the AI said to do, is to put 1 point into distance based on its trying to, what everybody says in forums and whatnot, and then you populate these three, high value, fragile, and just in time, and then hazardous if you want to go down the fuel tanker road. But you no, I want to go here and then add another point. Now I got the 2 points and then hit apply. But you want to hit those up first to be in. So basically the least path of resistance to get the most bang for the buck. You want to put points into here. And the last point that you actually add is right here. Well, actually, I take that back. The second to last one to do is this one right here. And then the very last is right here, because the benefits that you get for your fuel is helpful, but it's not that much. Versus all these other points that you want to fill. You want to fill this in before you fill in your economy drive. You get savings, but not such a huge savings where it's justified. So basically after you've already maxed out the game and you only have points left over to spend, this is when you do the eco drive. Everything else, as far as money and XP, these three are the most important. And then you would fill in this and this. If you want, only reason why you fill this in is if you just want to have the option to be able to haul, hazardous cargo. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video a second, and then I'm going to show you the settings of LookPilot, and then we will end the video. Oh, well, anyway, I tried to, what happened was, is as you can see, now you see me, um, what ended up happening is that once I exit out of American Truck Simulator, because first the how you do it is you would actually start Look Pilot first, and then you would start the game that you want to or fly, either one, either it's American Truck Simulator or Microsoft Flight Simulator or whatever, and then it would take hold of the camera. But then when you get out of the game, then of course, uh, you know, um, OBS takes over the camera, and then you can see me. And I tried to close my camera out, and because I was paused while I was trying to shift things around, it ended up making it so uh, basically OBS took over the camera entirely, so I can't actually show you all the little boxes and stuff that it pops up. But anyway, you would have the camera setting right here, in my case, the Brio 500, the tracking, you would actually have pop-ups that would actually give you little boxes to show you, as you saw in their little video, and how it sets up. And you would select the camera, and then you go into the settings themselves. But unfortunately, I can't. And you have two different types of head tracking. You got, and I have to read up on what these two. I just went with the default, and like I say, it's 60 frames a second. It just seems to be working just fine. The only thing that I did do is I did do my F11 and F10 as far as my centering and stuff, like you would with OpenTrack and other um, software as well. You can actually turn your posture on, so it would give you warnings of, hey, you're starting to slouch around and whatnot. And I do that. I end up hunching back like this after a while because I'm too busy, paying attention to the game and not really paying attention to my posture to stand up and look brave and strong, and that sort of thing. Um, so I kind of just go like this, and then I just kind of look like a couch potato. But anyway, so like I said, unfortunately, I can't give you the rundown of all the settings. Would have to actually disable all of the camera features of OBS to be able to do that. And I'm not going to do that now. But anyway, so like I said, it does support a lot of games. You can see the games that it supports here and simulators, which is a lot. Um, It does support NASCAR 2 Racing 2003, but like I say, you have to actually use free track, and you got to do all kinds of crazy things, but you can get it to work. I just don't know how right now, and I'd have to figure it out. But there is a lot of games that this thing supports. And like I said, for me, it was $14, and um, now I think it's was it $8 now? Yeah, now it's $8, and I can't say highly enough for Look Pilot to try it out and at least do the demo first, and then like right now I don't know how long this or promotion ends July 9th, so you got time from 6/28, which is today, to July 9th. So you got a little bit of time here in 2026 to be able to experience it. And I'd say it's totally worth the $9, for sure. But anyway, so I think I'm going to end this video here, and I definitely appreciate everyone watching, and definitely throw a big, huge like and subscribe and all that other happy stuff that all content creators say and do. And I'll just catch you next time on another exciting whatever it may be. So anyway, you guys take care. Bye.